Hey guys, welcome back. So this is where we left off, episode 1. This was a guest cabin they'd been working on. If you missed part 1, I'll put a link in the description. So now we're going to check out this 120 acre parcel. We'll give you our thoughts on the woods and the land, and then at the end we'll wrap it up and I'll let you know if we're going to pursue this property or not.
Woods, if you want to add any electric do industrial.
All right, so this property has literally 9 miles of trails on it. We're not going to hit all of them, but we're going to hit enough of them to get a good sense of the layout of the property, the terrain, the neighboring line pressure. There is some mature timber on there, reporting that there's a pretty good amount of walnut as well as some oaks. Everyone's definition of mature is different, but we're going to take a look at it and enjoy some sunshine and fresh air. So let's continue on.
Yeah, I'm not good with walnut, especially with no leaves on it.
So here's a nice little clearing in the woods. If you don't have equipment like we do, little fields like this can be important, especially if you're into deer hunting and wildlife and that. So this could be a nice little micro plot here. I think this is the only field within the woods that we found. We're also going to look at the fields that are up front by the road. The drawback up there is just that. They're up by the road. But they're beautiful fields in that up front with little fingers of woods on kind of the edge of the property and cutting through the middle of them fields. But anyways, a little micro plot there. Well, it could be. So let's keep going. We're what, headed west?
South.
South? So much of these woods, like this area, have a lot of undergrowth. It's kind of a matter of opinion. It's good for wildlife because it's cover. Some would say that for the hardwoods, you want to burn it off and have controlled burns and keep it kind of open and park-like. So I guess it depends on your desire and your theory on what you want in a piece of land that you own. But to me, the more cover, the better it is for wildlife, especially if you want to do some deer hunting or improve it and make it a really, really special property. But there is some mature timber on it, there's no doubt. I mean, a person could get a haul of timber if you wanted to buy it and log it right away. It's going to look, I mean, it already looks kind of thin right now as far as the bigger trees, not the underbrush. So if you take out everything over 20 inches here, it's going to look substantially thinner, but that's a decision each person has to make when you own property. None of us is rich at least not many that I know. So you got to take advantage of whatever you have to sometimes to make land ownership happen in your situation, if that's what you want to do. Is this still them?
Yeah.
Same name.
I'm assuming all of it's part of the sale, right, Josie?
Yeah, I mean, it
All the
has to be
parcels?
to make up that acreage. It has to be.
Oh, okay, now I see where we're at. I mean, the land lays out pretty nice. All right, this part of the property is beautiful. It's roughly midway, so it's not like totally up by the road, but I think we're closer to the road than we are to the back here. This is just a cross fencing, but on the left you could see these fields. They're broken up by some fingers and ditches with trees in them, and I think there's a wet weather creek running through the middle. They're also broken up by some lone hardwoods kind of mixed in, but very picturesque, very pretty. This property line up here ahead, there's really no line pressure up there. There's not a house right on it, and we didn't see much for deer stands at all. I think we might have saw one or two, and that's about it. I'm doubtful there's much deer hunting going on this property at all. Lean down here. All right, so here you can see where we're at. The property lays out like this. So we are up towards the road, even though it's still pretty private. It's really pretty up here. That's all there is to it. But this Highway 5 here is a little busier road than I anticipated, and that's probably going to play into our decision here on what we're going to do. But let's continue on with the property tour because it lays out big. I'm going to tell you, for 120 in a square, it does lay out big. Here you could see some nice ravines. There's ridges. It's not too steep at all like some we've seen, but it's got some terrain contour changes that you definitely would like to have on a nice piece of property like this. Nice property, if I live near this, it'd be a nice little piece of property. Nice little chunk of the ground off. Although for me personally, that highway's a little busy for my taste. Feels pretty big for a 120 or 115, yeah. really nice property. All right, so I gotta admit, this is kind of one of the favorite parts of this property. I love fields that are they have hills and swales and trees mixed in, and here you got this little pond on the left. The pond needs to be dredged out. It's really, really shallow. I mean, like really shallow. But you could see, you know, the high lines run up towards the highway. You could see cars kind of going back and forth there. You see a nice little draw in the middle here. It's a creek that connects into the pond. You know, so you could spread some food plots out around up here in the front, let the front grow up. But being up near the road, it's just not going to be as good as if it was very remote, you know, way in the back of the property, at least not if you're after mature deer. But I do love this property. I love this area, you know, where you got a creek that wanders through. You got open fields mixed with trees. There's this old barn here tucked in the middle. So just a really cool, I don't know, maybe 20-ish acres of fields here. I guess I didn't really measure them out, but it's just a really pretty layout the way it lays out. All right, so we're going to wind it down here, even though it's the prettiest part of the tour right up here. There's a deer stand right there. Anyways, after considering this property, we decided we're not going to pursue it for some of the following reasons. One being, it is on a busier road. We're not used to that. Once you go dead end, you never want to go back, and we've had so many places, even flip places that we've lived in temporarily on dead end roads, that you kind of get accustomed to that quietness, that peace and quiet, you know, without hearing cars and trucks driving by, you know, all time of the night and the day. For this house, I mean, you'd literally be sitting on that beautiful deck, which I'll get to the house in a minute, but you know, you're going to watch and listen to them vehicles driving by. Now, if this was like a half mile off on a side road, we may end up considering. But the second thing is the home. It's a log cabin, and we've always wanted to try to avoid that just because of the maintenance, you know, and we're getting up there in years, and it takes a lot of work to keep up on a log cabin, let alone just keep up on the property and just normal things with owning land. But I'm pretty confident it'll sell pretty quick. I think it's only been on the market a short period of time. So if somebody does look at this and purchase it, I'd say congratulations. It's a really pretty farm and a really beautiful area. There's just no doubt about that. So thanks for joining us. I hope to see you on a future episode. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. We'd love to have you along for all of our adventures. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.
It's a lot more open than what it looked like from the aerial.
Feels a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Feels way bigger than the 120, but that's why I want a square. A lot of the 120s are 340s and a L.